Good morning, everyone, and welcome on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney. Here we sit at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, Mississippi. We get the honor to meet with MGM Resort International, newest Chief Operating Officer and the President, Mr. Brandon Dardeau. Welcome everyone on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney. Here we sit at the beautiful Fallen Oak Golf Course, one of the top golf courses in the country. Today we get to meet and have a deep discussion with MGM Resorts International Chief Operating Officer and President of the Beau Rivage right there in Biloxi, Mississippi, Mr. Brandon Dardeau. So Brandon, thank you so much for meeting with me and allowing me to let the Mississippi Gulf Coast, as well as myself, get to know a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Look forward to it.
Absolutely. And, you know, reading up on you, everyone knows Brandon Dardeau, the big Chief Operating Officer, the President of the Jewel of the Coast, Beau Rivage Casino. But, you know, you didn't always start out like that. You've been with the resort for 23 years and started at the very bottom and worked your way up to this position.
Yep, that's right. It's one thing that's, I think, neat about our industry, but especially about MGM is we promote from within. And, you know, a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours. But, yeah, I started as an hourly position as an operator back in 2000 at MGM Grand. And 13 positions later, I had the opportunity to lead the property. So enjoy every moment of it. Love working with, you know, we almost have 3,000 employees, and they're all my coworkers. And you know, we just try to do each and every day, try to be better each and every day, and serve our guests and serve our community. So something we're really proud of.
And I love, you know, when I was walking with you in the Beau Rivage and we were getting B-roll of all the new additions, expansion, you know, all your employees were like, hey, and you knew them by the name and things like that, that are so like the hospitality, the way you treat your employees, it, you know, it really contributes, I believe, to your success and your growth. And I'm sure starting where you did at the beginning, you know what they're going through, you know their hard work. This must be a dream come true, sitting here.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, going through the experiences, and you know, we've gone through a lot on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
You really
obviously,
have.
you know, Katrina and BP oil spills and all the different challenges that we've had. We've all gone through things together, and you know, we've supported one another. And it is neat. Some of the employees, when my first job at Beau was an assistant slot shift manager, and some of the employees in the slot department are still there today. And so you do have a bond and a relationship with them, and you know, a trust. You know, both ways, quite honestly. And so, yeah, Beau is home for me. It's a special place, and you know, I feel a part of it. You know, even though I didn't grow up here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, I've been here for over 20 years, and so it's home. It's definitely home.
Yes, and you've had a lot of, you know, experience in the industry from Las Vegas, Tunica. Can you touch on that for people like me that want to know more in depth about what is going on within the, you know, tourism and casino industry?
Yeah. So I'll first give my my overview. So I grew up in a small town in Louisiana, a town of 700 people, and went to college in Louisiana, and then. Right after college, decided to try something different and moved to Las Vegas. Knew one person, and you know, didn't have a job, obviously, and but also didn't have responsibility. And so it was an easy time to try to move something. I look back now and think, God, what craziness that my parents must have thought. But nonetheless, moved out and you know, applied for a job, and happened the first place that called me back was MGM Grand, and it was an on-call hourly position. And that's the way you start in this industry. You know, degrees are great, but at the end of the day, it's about the experience that matters the most. And so, yeah, so really started there in a call center, and then got involved in slots. A gentleman out there told me, hey, the future of the business is slots, and so I said, well, if that's what it's going to be, I'll learn it. And like I said, 13 different jobs later, did have the opportunity in 2001, just before 9/11, to relocate to the Gulf Coast. I was ready to come home. I was a Southern guy, and within the same company, I was able to transfer and keep my tenure, and really start building my career here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and with Beau Rivage.
Well, tell me a little bit all the new additions that are going on and a little bit of what you've contributed and how this is affecting the coast and the growth and the development, as well as all the transients and visitors. People come and visit here. They are doing their destination for vacation over different islands. I mean, that's how big the Mississippi Gulf Coast is right now.
Without a doubt. And, Beau Rivage has a lot to do with that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's obviously an iconic building. It's something, was built today. It would be a multi-billion-dollar build-out, and so it is unique. It is a destination property. Very few properties across the country are destination regional properties. Obviously, we know about Las Vegas as the destination.
Yeah.
But there are very few. Most regional operators and regional casinos, most of their business comes from, the local area, within an hour's drive. And what makes Beau unique is that 70% of our business actually comes from more than 300 miles away. So think of Atlanta and farther, and that's where 70% of all of our business comes. So it is unique. It's Beau is the destination along as a partnership with the Gulf Coast. Obviously, people come and experience Beau, but they also get out and get to experience Ocean Springs and Bay St. Louis and Biloxi and Gulfport and Long Beach and all the great areas that we have along the coast. And so once they're introduced to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, they love it. People are nice.
Yeah, they want to stay or book their next trip.
They see, even though we see Beau Rivage as an expensive property, maybe for someone local, for them it's seen as a value as when you're comparing it to Las Vegas or you're comparing it to someplace in New York. And so it's a really, really neat thing. And of course, they love our weather and love the golf course that we're at here today. If you're up north right now, there's some icy weather. And now, down here it's 70 degrees and absolutely.
And I think people enjoy that, the hospitality, the Southern touch. I think it's cool that you were in Las Vegas. You got to see everything, and you're just you love the coast. You're so passionate about it. What is the difference if you're comparing for somebody that's visiting, going to the Beau Rivage, using the great amenities, the rooms, the gambling, but there's so much entertainment and the new restaurants compared to the larger cities? What do you think is so great?
Yeah, I think as a destination comparing, the coast to Las Vegas, obviously it's a lot younger in Las Vegas. The nightclub scene and the day club and the day pool.
And it just
there's
sounds,
a lot of activity. And look, that's great. A ton of people love that. I enjoy visiting as well, but there are some individuals that want a little bit slower pace, maybe to come and relax and play golf and sit by the pool and shop and go to a show and enjoy a different type of experience in Las Vegas. So it doesn't make it better or worse, it just makes it different. And there are some individuals that like to visit Las Vegas as well as sometimes
you can't even compare them, really. And when you go to the Beau Rivage, it's a full resort. It's not just, you don't just think casino and gambling. What all do y'all offer?
Yeah, so I say at New Hire Orientation every week, we talk about what all we have to offer. And we joke around that an employee could transfer every year from a different department, and after 20 years they still would not have worked in all the departments, because you do have, it's obviously a full service resort with a lot of restaurants and retail and spa, and we have all the back of house functions, the HR and finance and surveillance and all, it's a plethora. It's a big operation.
It really is.
Almost 3,000 employees, and so it's really, really a neat place to work, and it's something we're really proud of. And look, it is a very big part of the success of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Obviously, we employ a lot of people, a lot of tax base, but there are a lot of people visiting and get introduced to the Gulf Coast through our loyalty program, through our charter program that I know we'll probably talk about. It's a big topic of conversation. We had our 1 millionth passenger last year that flew in on it. We're the largest operator of the Gulfport Airport, and so we are bringing in visitors from all across the country, and once they get here, it's pretty easy to get them back because they do enjoy themselves. People are nice, and again, just a lot of great experiences all along the coast, not only within Beau Rivage but also outside of the walls. I mean, we have a great place to live. And so we're all very blessed to be here.
You know, in the $1 Million Charter, you're bringing all of these different people in here, and you do also talk about balance in the community. How important is it with the new casinos coming? Do you feel like we're overdoing this in the market, or do you feel like it's a good market area to expand as we're continuing to grow?
So Mississippi is one of 3 what we call unlimited license states. So most states have a limited number of licenses, and that's how many casinos are there in their bidding. Mississippi is an unlimited license, and so there are many gaming sites that are approved. What the industry has asked, and the commissioners, and really all the operators have asked to say, you know, if there is a new operator that enters the market, it needs to bring something new and fresh to attract more people to the Gulf Coast versus just dividing what's already here. And I think that you know, the commission has been very clear that that is a requirement, and you know, there's different interest out there, and there's different conversations about you know, about new casinos, or if somebody's interested, and that's all I think we ask as operators, and the industry asks is, hey, we need to grow the pot in order for us to all be successful.
Well, you know, the Beau Rivage, it's such a big deal for Mississippi Gulf Coast. We love to claim it. It's helped to, you know, bring people in, get them to stay, helped the economy in all areas. It's known the jewel of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. What is the thing about the Beau Rivage that stands amongst all the others?
Well, I mean, some of it is the facility. Obviously, you have to start with that. You know, when it was built, there was a vision that people from all around the world were going to visit.
Right.
And it took a lot of years. In the early years, we really didn't have that visitation, and the property didn't have a ton of success in the first, you know, call it 6 or 8 years of operating. And it's taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of growth. It's taken a lot of learning to grow that business over time. And again, this charter program is a big piece of it. It also helps that a lot of people are around moving to the south, right, from the northeast to the south, and Florida's growing, and Texas, and even Mississippi and Alabama, all these states are growing, so our population is growing. And so, you know, it takes time to do that. But then second, and something I think probably, you know, the most important of anything is the Southern hospitality and the service. You know, we always joke about, you know, sometimes the word Southern hospitality gets overused outside.
It does.
But when people come, and, you know, of course, we survey all customers that come, that stay in our hotel, we hear it over and over and over again, that people that aren't from here, when they do visit, you know, they're shocked that somebody holds the door for them, or they're you know, surprised that somebody says good morning and actually means it.
Right.
And so that authentic Southern hospitality culture that the property has, and look, the whole community has it as well, but it's something we preach over and over again. That's why people want to come back. That's why people want to visit, is because of the connections. And, you know, we have a ton of great employees that, you know, remember guests that were here a year ago, and remember their drink, and remember you know, what they eat in a restaurant, or what they ordered. And
remember the name, and make it personal.
I'm not sure how they remember all that, but it's a phenomenal.
Well, you seem to remember all your employees' name, and I was very impressed. I mean, you don't see or experience that just anywhere. I might be biased, but I feel that's right here in the South and at the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Beau Rivage Resort and Casino. And we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
World-famous dance crew, the Jabberwockies, is coming to Beau Rivage this summer with their newest show, Timeless. Visit BeauRivage.com for tickets and VIP packages.
Thank you for calling J. Allen Toyota Service.
This is what happens when you set an appointment at J. Allen Toyota Service. We will order the part right then, so it'll be here when your appointment comes. Our greeter staff will greet you quickly and friendly and top off your fluids before your car even leaves the drive. Then your car will go to one of our 6 two-man express teams or one of our 10 certified technicians, so they can get you back on the road safely and quickly. This is service the way it should be at J. Allen Toyota Service.
Thank you, South Mississippi, for making us your #1 Ford dealer on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. 39 years strong of quality sales, service, and parts. Don't forget, we'll beat your best deal regardless.
Visit the Gulf Coast's newest casino.
Come in today and experience the beautiful smoke-free Beachview Casino.
Pick your game. We have your favorite slots and table games and a sports book.
Enjoy incredible views while you dine at one of our many restaurants.
And grab a drink while you enjoy live entertainment every weekend in the heart of the action.
The Gulf Coast's newest, the smoke-free Beachview Casino Resort, Gulfport.
Are a beacon of healing, resolute and consistent, determined. We are problem solvers, driven to overcoming obstacles, unshakable. We are prepared, capable, experienced, unbeatable. We are a network of people providing care throughout your lifetime. We are believers in the healing power of compassion. We are Memorial.
Brandon, I would like you to elaborate a little bit more about the MGM AR so that I can understand it a little bit more clearer.
Yeah, so first I'll give you kind of why we do it. We talked about the Beau Rivage and being a large hotel. We have over 1,700 hotel rooms, and so in the early years, what we were struggling with was filling those hotel rooms. There's just not enough population in a drive-in distance to fill all those hotel rooms 7 days a week. And so over time, a gentleman by the name of Ryan Ross actually brought to us an idea to run a charter program, which a charter program basically is bringing people in to the airport, ultimately to Beau Rivage, from all around the country. And it started really small with some flights from Florida, and it has grown into what we call MGM Air today, and it's over 85 cities from the Central and Eastern time zone. So basically, if an airport can handle a 737-800, which is 170 seat plane. So think about when you fly somewhere, it's 170 seats. We bring people in every single day, 2 flights a day, every single day into the Gulfport Airport.
2 flights a day?
2 flights a day come in every day. Generally one from the south, a Florida or Texas market. And then one from the north. We go as far north as Boston and New York, and Detroit's a great market for us, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So basically in the Central and Eastern time zone, if they can land that plane, we will fly there at some point. And it kind of charts around the country. It's a very complex. Brooke Pardue actually runs the program for us along with Sean Farrell, and very, very smart individuals. And they have a great team that puts it together for them. But in essence, it's bringing in, last year we brought in our 1 millionth customer through that program. And so, it's very expensive. It's very difficult to run, but it's something we've had to do to create enough business to fill all those hotel rooms.
How long has this been going on?
It really started around 2009, and it's grown. And again, I was a part, previous to this role, I was a marketing lead for the property. And so I've been a part of the program for a very long time. And it's something that has evolved, again, with just trials and errors and success. We have a great partner now called Sun Country Airlines, which is, if you've flown out of the airport, you probably have seen that. They're our partner that actually provide the service for it. We basically tell them where to fly, and obviously we control who gets on the plane, but it's a really interesting program, mainly gaming. We do have a large database being part of MGM Rewards, part of a bigger company, and so we bring customers from all around the country that have never been to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. They went to Las Vegas, they signed up for a loyalty program, and we know their value, and so then we mail them an offer, and ultimately after maybe many times of asking them to come, they do, and they try it out. Once they come here once, it's very, very easy to get them to come back because they do enjoy it so much.
Well, Brandon, you mentioned a very large number of rooms that y'all have offer, you know, and taking that leap of faith and starting the MGM Air and it being successful. Now you are starting to remodel. The amenities have improved. It's huge expansion. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so last October, we actually finished our room remodel. We had done our suites. Our suites are our top 4 floors of the tower. We have 95 of those. And we had completed that just before COVID. And then the plan was to remodel the regular rooms, so basically the 25th floor and down. And then, of course, COVID happened and changed, you know, the world, and so that got delayed. But we were really happy to move forward with that. We started last April. We finished in October. Yates Construction actually did the work. That's who built the actual building.
Yeah.
And so, you know, made it much easier for us to do that with the group that built it. But in essence, it's been fantastic, and the response has been great.
Well, you've really adhered so much to the casino industry, the tourism, and so much of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And you're such a young leader. You're 46 years old, but you've been in the industry, started at the very bottom. And you mentioned you had a degree, but you start at the very bottom with an hourly wage job. Would you ever dream that you'd be sitting here, the president of Beau Rivage?
No, I mean, you know, look, each step that I took and was one step closer to, you know, somebody, you know, after you learn a lot from people, right? Sometimes you learn what not to do, a lot of times you learn what to do, and you get to see people's trials and errors, and, you know, you learn from that, and then, you know, I've been lucky enough to have an opportunity granted, and you know, I've had a lot of great mentors over time, and obviously the company gave me this opportunity, so I'm very, very grateful, and you know, I work hard each and every day for not only for my bosses, but also for the people that, you know, maybe say work for me. I kind of think of them as coworkers, but you know, my job is to really provide the resources to make their jobs easier.
And it's different personalities all working cohesively together and making a difference. And you know, your life is so, you have a marketing degree. This job, I mean, you have to be a go-getter. It is busy, it is fast-paced. What would I find you doing on the weekends or in the week? Because I know you have a family, and we're sitting here, you know, at Fallen Oaks. Tell me a little bit about Fallen Oak.
Yeah, so what I would say, and again, I've had a lot of great mentors, is they have said, you know, keep a balance. And so I am very much a family individual. You know, our industry sometimes gets marked for saying, hey, leaders, you know, can't have a family and work in the casino industry. And I've been, you know, very committed to proving that wrong. And I do everything with my kids that any other parent does, and very, very much invested in my kids' lives, and you know, couldn't be happy. They're both born in Biloxi, and we've raised them here on the Mississippi coast, and it, you know, it's their home. It's you know, for me, I've lived here 20 years, but for them, they've lived here their whole life. And I was fortunate enough to marry my college kind of sweetheart, and we've been together now just over 18 years. Just celebrated our 18th year anniversary. So.
That is amazing. And what about golf and your passion and your hobbies? Tell me about that, because I know you're partnered with all kinds of different things.
Yeah, so I played college golf, small college golf, but I played at a school called Louisiana Monroe. Back when I was there, it was called Northeast Louisiana. But it's kind of been a unique, actually how I went to Las Vegas the very first time was my golf coach actually brought me there when I was 22 years old, and had never been and never experienced it. And you know, he really showed me, I guess brought me to a place, and I said, oh, you know, let me go check this place out. And ultimately, without golf, I maybe never would have had that right lane.
Yeah.
And you know, for us to own and operate Fallen Oak is just, you know, it's
beautiful.
Being a golfer. You know, it's obviously one of my favorite parts of the job, and that's, you know, when you reached out for this interview, I said, hey, let's do it at Fallen Oak.
You did.
Because sometimes, you know, we forget just how neat
it just stills you and it opens your eyes to life and what's important. And, you know, your family, I love that, because so much growth and development has happened, but you have it all in balance and your priorities, and starting out, you know, so young and still being so young in your position. What would you tell millennials, like people that are striving and watching this today? Because people see you afar, and, you know, getting to know you and the good person that you are, it's not so intimidating to get to know a CEO and president.
Yeah, and look, everybody's got different approaches, but you know, for me, I got here obviously through a lot of hard work, but honestly, it's helped like hiring the right people and having the right team. And you know, sometimes the smartest person in the room is not the best person for the job. It's about finding that cohesive team, because that's really what it takes to be successful, I think, and especially in our business. I mean, look, we're in the service business, and so service is what we do. We serve others, and you know, we serve our guests, we serve each other, we serve other employees, and so I think that's what I like about the industry and what I like about what we have to offer. But you know, what I would tell millennials is you know, just be patient. I think that's the biggest thing. And I have a daughter that's about to be 16, and you know, it won't be long. She'll be getting into you know, college years and working, and it's just, you know, sometimes people want everything right now.
And it's just one day at a time.
What's that saying? Patience is a virtue.
Patience is a virtue. Yes.
Yeah, so
that's exactly what it is.
But look, we hope everybody's success. We really do wish everybody's success, because that is, you know, that rising tide. I think you mentioned earlier. It is important, and it's important for the Gulf Coast.
It is important, and we're all in this together, and that's the special thing about the Coast.
And probably no other place in the Gulf Coast, you know, to go through what we have gone through as a community.
I was going to ask you how you got through all of that. I mean, from the Katrina, the oil spill, and now you sit here and
recession. I mean, obviously we had COVID, and so you know, Mississippi in general, you know, really led the country out of COVID. Our industry, Mississippi, was the first state to figure out how to operate casinos in a COVID environment, and so I think it does speak to the resiliency of the Gulf Coast. You know, going through as a group, going through the Katrinas and the BP oil spills, and the you know, the Great Recession, and so COVID was just, to us, it was like another, you know, obstacle. I can remember back when we were reopening after COVID, it was, you know, a lot of casinos within our company had never closed, and so they didn't really know how to close, and so they really looked to us, because obviously we close often with you know, hurricanes out in the Gulf. So it's really neat, and I think it's the fabric of what the Gulf Coast is about, is resiliency, and we're all in it together. So.
And I love that, because the coast, that we are known about that, is resiliency, and people like you and leaders and entrepreneurs and people that get out there and go get them, you're helping keep the momentum, because we know how to bounce back. We just got to keep it going. And I feel really good about it and optimistic about the future, and I just look forward to following you and the Beau Rivage, and for your partnership and all you're contributing to the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Well, we're glad. We're happy to do it, and you know, we're glad to be part of this great area of the country, for sure.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney.
World-famous dance crew, the Jabberwockies, is coming to Beau Rivage this summer with their newest show, Timeless. Visit BeauRivage.com for tickets and VIP packages.